So, as many of you know, Goldpride Punk is a pretty decent deck post-release of Cyberstorm Access. This deck has insane consistency, a powerful end board, and flexibility in how it can be optimized towards a specific format. That said, there is one notion floating about regarding the variant that, to me, isn't 100% true. This is the notion that Goldpride Punk auto-loses to draw. It makes sense why a lot of players, Punk players included, think this. Punk and Goldpride are archetypes that individually do a ton of searching and do twice as much searching when combined together. So many combos rely on these searches throughout their entirety as opposed to upfront, making it seem like they are dead in the water after that dreaded level 1 resolves. Well, let me provide to you 3 examples of how we can work around Droll and Lockbird. As long as you can get access to Shared Kusai, you can guarantee yourself a spell trap negate, plus Shared Kusai on board to quick synchro into Amazing Dragon. The best way for me to show this honestly is through a quick test hand. So let's say you draw a hand like this. This is obviously a broken hand under any other circumstances, but since we're about to get drolled, it can still do stuff, as you will see. So we're going to know some of the Xayman. Your Xayman will search a Foxy Tune since that is the best search target with this hand. Here, your opponent will most likely droll you, since you've already committed a monster to board, and so you can't gamma their droll anymore. From here, it looks like we might not be able to do too much, but we have Foxy Tune, and so this gives us access to Shared Kusai, which still gives us some semblance of a play. And what I mean by that is we're going to discard the Foxy Tune here. We're going to send to grave the Madam's Biter, since this is going to be the card that gives us the least potential for follow-up next turn. We're going to summon from deck a copy of Yu-Gi-Oh! Punk Shared Kusai. Shared Kusai can then activate its effect, fusion itself off with the Xayman into a copy of Rising Carp. Rising Carp can then trigger its effect, tribute itself, summon 2 bodies from deck. It will be the Deer Note here and any other level 3 name. I'm opting into Xayman because wasting your 1 copy of Wagon doesn't seem that great of an option here. Then you can synchro these 2 off into a copy of Adamancier Pater Dragite. The Dragite will be live because we have a water target, aka the Rising Carp Engrave, and after we summon this, the Deer Note will trigger, summon back to field our Shared Kusai, and this will be our end board after we set the imperm. It obviously isn't going to be the most broken thing in the world, because of course Droll does still put a damper in our plans, but you can see that Punk really can still put something out even when it's locked out of its searches. Keep in mind that you can also sequence your searches in a manner to bluff gamma in hand. Cards like Ogre Dance and Better Luck Next Time don't require you to commit a monster to board before utilizing them. You can thus choose to activate these cards first, de-incentivizing most players from dropping Droll on you immediately. Some players still will, of course, but many other players will typically wait for you to normal summon Xayman or commit one of your Goldpride names to board. After all, if you do have the gamma and they choose to droll you before you commit anything, they'll lose so much off that interaction than they would have otherwise. Sequencing properly allows you to potentially squeeze out additional resources from your deck before getting into for sure droll territory. The final option available to us is building our decks to accommodate droll. This is really an idea that can be applied to any deck, though I'm using it here just for the sake of explaining the situation. Look, at the end of the day, you have a deck, you're going to want to patch up the weaknesses that deck has. In our case, what we can do is cut down on cards, for example, like Ogre Dance and Better Luck Next Time, which minimize the amount of searches that we have to do in a turn. This then lets us use our quote-unquote once per turn search that Droll entails to search the most important piece of the puzzle that we need to push through. Worst case, if you don't want to sacrifice too much consistency, you could always play concessions like Cross-Out Designator or Claw by the Grave, though I'll admit that I'm personally not the biggest fan of them. At the end of the day, Droll obviously still hurts. I'm not trying to deny that. Being locked out of drawing an extra 3 cards per turn is obviously a lot to stomach, especially for a deck like Punk that loves to draw. But rather than assuming instant defeat, there are always ways to work around these obstacles that stand in our path. In the end, Goldpride Punk does not auto-lose to Droll.